Hi, you guys. Welcome to this week's episode of the Expand and Evolve podcast. I'm your host, Carly Pinchin. My browser keeps crashing, so I'm going to hope for the best that this works. But basically, I wanted to come on today and talk a little bit about money mindset, vision, and how to actually make the things that you want, the things and the dreams that you have in your mind come to fruition and reality. And I'm currently reading this book called The Energy of Money, and I'm also writing a training about vision, decision, and action. And I felt like all of that came together so perfectly in how important these three things are. And this like middle ground of like overcoming the hump is to actually like start to create your dream life. And so my whole training on vision, decision, and action I'm doing tomorrow. And part of that is just helping people understand that you cannot achieve the things that you want unless they are matched, unless you have all three, basically. So it's like you could be taking all of these actions every single day, but without a clear vision of what you actually want to achieve and accomplish, you're getting nowhere. The same way that if you don't actually make the decision that you're going to do whatever it is that you want to do, you're also getting nowhere. And so just really understanding that it is really all three parts, and how you need to incorporate all three. And then I was reading this book, The Energy of Money, and I wanted to kind of talk about this little part where it says, I'm going to read it to you, okay? How do you know that you're manifesting your life's intentions? You know that you're manifesting your life intentions because you see results in your physical reality. So this is where basically you can see, and this is what I want you guys to really understand and how this starts, because I think this is where people get messed up and like their doubts creep in and their fears creep in, and then it stops them from achieving what they're capable of accomplishing, right? Or achieving. And so what happens is, this is just an example. You have a dream in your mind. You see it so clearly. Maybe it's like a business idea. Maybe it's a relationship that you feel like you can have. Maybe it's your dream body and you like feel this sense of motivation and inspiration that like you can accomplish that and like feel the healthiest you ever have. Maybe it is, I don't know, like for me, for example, this school that I envision, I have it in my mind. I can see it in my mind. This relationship that I know I can cultivate and create with another human being. I see it and I know it within my mind, right? I have it visually. I can see it. I know it. My vision is there, right? It's fully clear. My decision is there that like, this is what is going to be in my future. Here's where it gets a little bit funny. Your decision though, when you start to have, you can call it like your monkey mind, where you see it and you have this like bout of inspiration. You're like, oh my gosh, I can see it. And this is what I'm going to do. And then as time goes on, the fears creep in, the doubts creep in. Oh, you're so stupid. You can't actually do that. Oh, you're crazy. Why would you think that you could actually have that? You're not capable enough for that. You're not good enough for that. You're not worth that. All of these monkey mind, you can call it monkey mind, things start to creep in on making you feel not good enough, having the doubts creep in, the fears creep in, all of that stuff. What I want you to know is that is 1000% normal and part of being a human being. So there is not a single human being on this planet who thinks of a thing and has a vision in their mind and doesn't have to combat their monkey mind before creating and like bringing that thing into fruition in physical reality. And so in this book, it talks about this. I'm going to go through this a little bit, where she calls it trouble at the border. So basically, what does she say? Like through your metaphysical, so like the physical realm, where does she call this? So the metaphysical world of like what you have in your mind, right? Metaphysical is all in here, it's ideas, versus real life world in the physical plane. So going from each of these points where you have to go from, okay, you have these ideas, you have this vision, you have these like what you know could be true for your dream life in your mind. Now you have to go and create this in your physical reality. This is where so many people give up. This is where so many people, they go, oh, that was such a great idea, but now I have to actually like go through life and like make this a reality somehow. That makes them stop because they feel like it's too hard, it's too tough. How are they really going to do it? You get in the position where I'm dealing with this right now with the school, where it's like, I want this, I see it so clearly, but the execution of taking the aligned actions to actually make this a reality in the physical is stalling me. And it makes me want to give up sometimes because I'm just like, like, do I really want to put in the effort and the work and like have to take the actions that are necessary in order to do this and put the time in to actually accomplish this, right? So take this on anything. I work with so many people that start their brand new businesses. They have all of these hopes and dreams and they're inspired. And then boom, they hit their monkey mind of like the fears, the lack of doubts, their worth. They talk to other people who are negative. And so they take that all in as truth. And now they're not able to go after the goal of the thing that they want to do. And so what she calls this that it's like trouble at the border. So basically you're right there. You're right on the brink of like stepping into this new version of you or this new life or this thing that you want to achieve and accomplish that you know in your mind is possible because you can see it. This is where like, when you hear those quotes, like you wouldn't have a dream on your heart unless it was whatever, yours, I don't know. You know what quote I'm talking about. Or like whatever they say. It's like you wouldn't have a vision within your mind that you are not capable of executing and creating. The difference of the people who actually execute and have these things happen in their life is they can control the monkey mind. They can control when all those doubts creep in and those fears creep in and that worthiness crap creeps in. They're able to like snap it away and be like, that's not truth. That's not my truth, and move past it. Where a lot of people get stuck in that phase. They get stuck in it and they let it take over everything in their life. They believe it. And so then they stay stuck in the exact same position they are with all of those hopes and dreams going absolutely nowhere with zero execution. And so this is where you can think of it like when you have trouble at the border. She talks about this, how she was like so pumped. She had all these ideas, how she was going to start her own practice. And then she actually had to start executing. And it's like, okay, now I have to find the space. Now I have to find the people. How am I going to find the clients? Where am I going to find these people? Who's actually going to say yes to me? Who's actually going to believe in me? Who's actually going to see that I'm capable enough? That is all normal. She's now super successful writing a book called The Energy of Money. She had those same thoughts. Like when I thought about starting my network marketing business, I had the same thoughts. Like I had the vision, right? It was like, oh my gosh, if I do this business, I can make this much money and I'm going to be able to do these things. And I started reading and educating myself on network marketing. The vision was there. It was like, okay, I can have all of this stuff and this is how my life can look. Then you have to actually start taking the actions. Right? That's where like you have the vision. You've made a decision that this is what you're doing. Now you have to start taking aligned action. This is where so many people get stuck because they see all the things that they have to do in order to achieve that thing. And they go, ooh, uncomfortable, I'm out. And so they decide not to even go after it and not even to do it because it's uncomfortable to think about the actions it's going to take to actually achieve that thing that you want to achieve. And so when she talks about trouble at the border, she kind of goes through this whole thing of going through the monkey mind. Like these are just some examples. Like it wasn't supposed to be this hard. Maybe now isn't the right time to be doing this. If I was really meant to be doing this, I wouldn't be having so much trouble. I know the universe or God must be trying to tell me something because it's not easy. And she goes through this. Sorry, my window's open. That's probably really loud. But I guess like monkey mind is something that comes from Buddhism. It's like a Buddhist belief where it describes a self-criticizing aspect of our mind that swings us from doubt to worry and back to doubt. Monkey mind chatters the most loudly when we threaten to change the status quo, even if the status quo is something we long to leave behind. This is where you have to know ahead of time, and I tell people this all the time, you are going to come up against fighting your ego for its comfort zone. Your comfort zone is going to want to keep you stuck. Even though you're miserable, you have no money, and your bed is like calling you all the time and you just want to sit on your couch, it's not getting you anywhere. You're not achieving anything. Your life isn't changing, but your body and your nervous system and your comfort zone and your ego is like, but I know this and this is safe. So like, let's stay here. And it will convince you to stay there because your whole ego's goal is like, let's just keep you safe and the same. It doesn't want change. So you're literally combating a part of your mind that's trying to keep you stuck and safe when you decide to do something different and out of the status quo. So the monkey mind is designed to solve problems, expect danger, and brace us for trouble. It's a survival instinct, so it's familiar. It likes things to be familiar. It doesn't like change. It doesn't like to take risks, and it doesn't appreciate any steps we take toward the border. So like stepping out of your norm into something new because it doesn't know that. It feels unknown. It's new territory. The monkey mind doesn't care if what lies in that territory is the goal that's closest to your heart. It's a new thing, so it's off limits. So even though like starting that business, pursuing that relationship, ending the relationship that's toxic and freaking making you miserable and ruining your whole life and ruining your health. Like, even though that could be the most harmful thing for you, because it's your current norm, your body and your monkey mind is going to try to keep you there rather than stepping into the unknown that would give you the most beautiful life that like allows you to achieve all of your dreams. So I just want to help you guys understand, like, no matter who you are and where you're at on your journey right now, in whatever you are wanting to achieve and accomplish, no one is immune to this, and we all have to fight through this. You just get to be the one that decides, am I going to push through this or am I going to let this define me? Am I going to listen to this and keep this stupid chatter in my mind be the thing that holds me back from living the dream, like life I know I am meant to, and the thing that I know, the dreams that I know I can accomplish. Okay. So The monkey mind doesn't care if what lies in that territory is the goal that's closest to your heart. It's new, so it's off limits. So this is all like psychological jargon. Where does it go here? Yeah. So basically what it says here, this part's really good too. We have the same choice when it comes to our active mind chatter. So when you have that active mind chatter coming up, meaning you're starting to question yourself, the doubts are coming up, the worries coming up, the disbelief, all of those things are starting to come up. You get to decide if you're going to allow it to stir up even more by trying to analyze it, suppress it, or argue with it, which only makes it louder, or you can refrain from turning your energy toward the mind in that way. And so if we turn our attention away from the chatter, the monkey mind doesn't hinder us. The buzz won't go away, but it won't be aimed in our direction. Successful people have learned not to poke at the beehive, meaning like your monkey mind, you don't poke at it. So some of you who always psych yourself out from doing the thing, it's because you listen to it and then you start like talking with it basically. So like for some of us, you might hear like, you're a loser, you're not capable of that. Some of us might go, yeah, you're right, you are such a loser. And like we feed into it energetically. Others of us might be like, whoa, what the hell? Like, shut up. That's not even true. Like, you don't get to control me. I'm going to do this. And like, you allow yourself to have a conversation in a different light. Does this make sense? So they hear their monkey mind. So like, imagine me. Okay. This is a good example. I hear my monkey mind and it might try to remind me daily, even moment to moment, of the doubts, fears, and worries, just like everybody else. But you recognize that these anxieties are always going to be there when they're at the border. And so you choose not to allow them to be relevant and you don't allow them to control your life. Instead, they focus on energizing their goals with belief and all the other things. So for me, for example, right, like I'm going to use myself as an example because I feel like I've navigated this quite well in my life, where I used to have really loud limiting beliefs and really loud negative self-talk. I would tear myself down. I would fall victim to that chatter. I would believe it. I would feed into it. I would reaffirm it. I would say it again out loud. Like, let's just take an example when it was body dysmorphia for me. So it might be like, you're so fat. You're disgusting. Your body looks gross. Oh my gosh. Like, you're not lean enough. Your butt isn't big enough. You don't even have abs. You're not pretty. You're not good looking enough. These girls are way prettier. Like, it starts to spiral. I would sit in that and I would allow it to derail everything about me, change my entire frequency in my whole body, make me feel worthless and useless and not good enough. Who is going to accomplish anything they want in life feeling in that state? It's impossible. So it was like, until I had to take an action, and I'm going to talk about taking aligned actions in a minute. But my action back then, when I used to feel this way about myself, was I had to stop it in its tracks before it got out of hand. And things that I did for that was like the snapping your thing on your wrist. Every time you noticed a negative thought, I would snap elastic band. The other thing I had to do was I didn't allow myself to look in the mirror, because the thing that activated my monkey mind the most was staring at myself in a mirror. And so in order to stop myself from going down that spiral, which I knew was going to send me over the edge and like derail me completely, I stopped looking in the mirror. So it's like, you have to look at yourself. What is the thing that always is causing you to get in that state of fear, of doubt, and worry? You get to take control over not allowing yourself to go into that state by getting rid of the things that are sending you there. Does this make sense? So for some of you, it could be like you look in the mirror and that's what sends you off. It could be you say what you want to accomplish or achieve and you speak it out loud to the wrong people, the people who are never going to believe in you the way that you need to believe in yourself. And so that derails you. This could be a partner, it could be a friend, it could be a family member, but you end up saying it to the wrong people. Okay, so that could be something else. It could be you have all these ideas and this belief in yourself, and then you notice the second that you go to execute or take an action on it, you psych yourself out. Okay, well, how can you shift in those moments where you don't believe in yourself and in those moments where you're like lacking belief, let's say? How can you shift it so that you are able to get past it somehow in order to take those aligned actions that you need to take to get over that hump? So think of it. I need you guys to basically be so hyper aware that this is a normal thing you're going to come up against, that when it comes up, you go, oh, like monkey mind. Okay, great. Like this is my chance to fight it. Am I going to allow it to make me a victim and like still sit in this? Or am I going to be like, F you, like I'm taking control of this and this is how we're going to shift this differently this time. And like, I'm not going to allow you to control my life anymore. I get to control my life and I get to accomplish all of my hopes and dreams. Okay. So, yeah, just really understanding like that's so normal. And I think what happens, so like this is where she was talking about energizing your goals, is this is where when you are, this is where the aligned action comes in, okay? So when you have the vision, use my school as an example, use this partnership I know I can have, use when I built my first business where I was like, oh my God, I see it so clearly, like this is the vision for my life, this is how it's going to work, this is the avenue I'm going to use, this is the business that I'm starting, I'm deciding to do it because I know it can give me this life that I want, I'm in, I'm all in. This is where your goals are energized. And so all a goal is a life intention. Okay. I wanted to explain this to you really quick. So the goal, for example, this might help explain something. So without goals, your life intentions remain unfulfilled, and unfulfilled life intentions often result in frustration and resignation. Conversely, our greatest joy comes from achieving goals that have real meaning and heart for us because they're anchored in the metaphysical realm. Meaning, so like we think of goals and we're like, oh, I want to achieve this thing. I've talked about this so much lately. I'm like, unless it is heart-centered, meaning you are coming from wanting that goal from a heart-centered place, you're not executing it. I feel like in this shift that we are going through globally and consciously right now, like as a collective, anything built from ego must die. So if you used to be able to accomplish goals strictly from your ego, that used to work. It's not working anymore. We're being pulled and called back to our hearts as human beings because the world we are going to create from that place is so different than anything that we currently see right now. And so when you have to think of a goal, it's like you get to have all of your own goals. If they're coming from a heart-centered place, you're so much more likely that you're going to achieve and accomplish them because that's where it comes from, like that metaphysical within your mind realm where it's for the highest good. So if it's a goal that's for the highest good of you, for the highest good of your family, for the highest good of the world, you're going to be so much more likely to accomplish and achieve that. So it's like, find that within you first. So just an example. So your goal might be to buy a house. The intention is to be financially successful. Your goal might be to climb a mountain. Okay, where then the intention is going to be, I want to be physically fit. Your goal might be to move into a beautiful new office. Okay, well then your intention might be that you want to be a successful entrepreneur. A goal may be, I want to take my kids to Disneyland. The intention would be, I want to be a great mom. Does this make sense? So it's like you need to have like your life intentions are not necessarily like, I want to have a house and have a car, but like, no. You might say though, I want to be financially successful. I want to be physically fit. Like those are intentions for your life. They measure in the physical. So that's like metaphysical. In the physical world, it's going to come through based on physical goals, meaning like you have a house or you have the car or you have the physical family or you are able to take your kids to Disneyland, whatever those things are. Does this make sense? And so when we talk about aligned actions, like when I made that, I had the vision of what I wanted. I made the decision I was going to execute it. I started the business. When I started taking aligned actions, it's because my goals were energizing me because they were aligned and it was something that I had decided on and my vision was so clear. So what it says here is, have you ever found yourself in a flow of energy that was so creative, so productive and exciting that you felt like you could do what you were doing forever? You knew you were making something wonderful and that your I don't know what this word says. Your work was superlative, that you were performing at your optimal capacity. You probably could feel energy moving through you and animating your efforts. And so this is where for me, and you can think about this, where is a time in your life where you were achieving something that you were so excited to be going after or achieving, it didn't feel hard? And this is where I think sometimes we get confused because it's like, yeah, okay, hard work. Like, yes, it's going to take effort to achieve anything that you want in this life. It's going to take effort. You're going to have to put physical effort in your physical body and your physical mind to make anything come to reality. I think sometimes we get so stuck, like, I'm going to manifest my vision and my dreams. Like, yes, amazing. Manifest, set the clear intention, get your vision right. 1000% that's important. But we live as three-dimensional beings in a physical world. You have to take actual actions to make these things come to reality. I couldn't just sit here in my room like, husband, I hope you find me, with zero intention of like sharing on social media or like putting myself out there or going on dates or doing the personal growth and the work that I needed to do to become this woman who's going to be able to attract this person into my life, I had to take physical action to become that. The same way with my, like the school or like my business, for example, it's like I could have the vision of like what my life could be and the homes I wanted to have and cars I wanted to have and this life I wanted to create. But unless I took physical action, it's never coming. So it's like, get really aware that like manifestation and getting good on visualization, my kid is yelling at me, is so beautiful and so powerful. And it's very much something that I think is really important, but you cannot, I know we're energetic butterflies and we're really magical. And all of us as women, like we are truly magical. You can do so much through desire with a lot less effort, but you still have to take physical action. And I think that's something that you can learn through when you've done everything in a very masculine light, where you had to do and chase and like execute and do, like it was very aggressive. You can move into a way where it's like you utilize the power of manifestation and vision to create the image so perfectly that you're able to move toward that with flow and ease through aligned action. Okay. And so what I was going to say is that when you're energized towards your goals and it's super clear, it doesn't feel like hard work. Think of a time where in your life you were able to chase a goal and it was fun. You were like excited. Yeah, you were working hard. Yeah, you were putting a lot of time and effort toward it, but it was fun because you were energized toward that goal, which was allowing you to reach that intention that you had set. So take as an example, okay, you wanted to start your new business because your intention was, I want to be financially free. You knew this business was going to allow you to be financially free. Your intentions were clear. Your vision was clear. You started taking aligned action. You were energized towards that goal because you knew what it could give you. And so you were taking all of these actions. It didn't feel like hard work. You didn't feel like you were forcing yourself. You were working hard, but it was with ease. And I think I hear this all the time, like, let it be easy, do it with ease. Okay, but like doing it with ease, you still need to do something. So many people feel like, oh, it's supposed to be easy, especially with like the masculine feminine movement and everyone talking about this. It's like, let it be easy. I'm just going to lay here and like, let it happen. No, like you actually have to do things. Oh my God. He's like yelling at me. I had to wipe a kid's butt. He's like screaming, mama, mama. Anyways, okay. So basically when you think of it and you were accomplishing that thing and chasing that thing, it didn't feel oh yeah, that's what I was talking about, was the ease and flow. Like so many people are on this thing where it's like, oh, it should feel easy. And if it feels like I have to put effort, like, I guess it's just not for me. I'm like, you live in a physical world. And especially if you're in like the spirituality thing, so many people are like trying to be in the 5D and like trying to, I'm like floating and blah, blah, blah. Like, and that's great. But what I always say is I'm like, if you were meant to be a 5D being, right? Where like, you're an alien or an astral realm or whatever, like you wouldn't be here. So part of your life right now is you are a human being, which means you are on planet Earth and it's a physical realm with a physical reality, which means you still need to do things to achieve anything or have any type of result in your life. Okay. So I feel like with this part, yeah. So basically what I want you guys to kind of think about on this too, sorry, I got so distracted from having to run downstairs. She kind of goes into this, that there's 6 primary forms of energy that we talk about in this work. And it's money, time, physical vitality, enjoyment, creativity, and the support of friends, and how we use these different energies to energize our goals. So to help them across like getting those ideas that you have and those thoughts that you have, and then actually seeing it in the physical realm and like having it come to light for you, is usually we will use all 6. So just think about this for a second. Typically, if you're going to start a business, right, you might use money as a resource to get you off the ground and like start to do something. You're also going to use your time. You need to utilize your time to accomplish that thing. I couldn't have started my business without utilizing my time and putting my time into that with effort and focus and aligned intentional action. The same way when I created my the feminine course that I created, like that took my energy and my time. So yes, can it still make me money now, even though I'm not necessarily putting a lot of time into it? Yes, but I had to put in time to create that thing and then get it moving. Physical vitality, so that just means like you're actually using your physical body to be able to do things. So you could say like keeping yourself healthy, like actually moving your body, doing things in your physical body to keep you in a really great state in terms of your health and your overall well-being. Creativity, when you're energized towards your goal, you get creative, and that creativity kind of flows to you. So this is something, whether you know your human design or not, I think this is really important, because for me, my human design and the way that it is, I basically get a spurt of inspiration, and then it's like, it's go time. And I'm going to be obsessed with that, being willing to put in my time. My creativity is flowing and I just go with it. Where there's lots of time for me as a projector where I don't feel inspired to create anything. My creativity is kind of low. I could care less. And so instead of fighting myself on this, because for a while it was like, oh, I should be creating content every day, and I should be creating something new, and I should create all these new courses, and I should be like creating this and creating that. It was not giving myself time to rest and appreciation for, like, I don't operate best like that. Some of you do. Your ideas are flowing 24/7. You can always be executing something new. For me personally, that's not me. I might get a new idea every 6 months, and then I just like, okay, you're running with that creativity, run with it until it's done, and then just wait for the next creative thing to hit you. And giving myself the space to rest in between is super important, where I don't beat myself up anymore. Where like, I haven't really accomplished or achieved anything sometimes lately. And I'm like, it's all good. Like, I'm okay resting. I'm okay with the in between. I know, and I trust myself that like when I'm meant to be creative, those creative ideas are going to come flowing back to me. And then in addition to that, supportive friends. So, when you love what you're doing, you develop creative approaches to get clients or like achieve whatever it is that you need to achieve in your business. So this is something I see so clearly when there's girls on my team who are chasing goals, for example. When they're really in it, when they've made that, they have that vision, it's clear, they've made the decision, taking aligned action is easy. They get creative, ideas flow to them. They're able to create all of these different ideas and be able to execute all of these different ways. When they don't have an aligned vision or decision, there's no aligned actions happening naturally. They just don't. And the creativity isn't flowing. So it's like, I really want you guys to come back to, no matter what it is in your life, it first starts with the vision. Then you make the decision, and then you start to take those aligned actions. And the last part of this was supportive friends, right? As part of it. And it was that you have these people in your corner who are there to give you the pep talks, refer clients to you, be there to support you as you navigate, like as if you're a new entrepreneur. If you're, for example, I was just talking to Steph earlier this morning, and being a single mom and like navigating this whole thing with like a separation and like the dad and then opinions and fighting and arguments that can happen. Like, I'm so grateful I have friends in my corner who have navigated this and gone through it, because I don't feel so alone. And because of that support, I'm able to show up so much differently in my life. And so for you, if you're on your brand new entrepreneurial journey, or like, you're a new mom and you don't really have mom friends, it's like, how can you go create friendships and relationships with people who are actually going to support you in the life that you're trying to create? That might mean that you need to go network. It might mean you need some new friends. It might mean that you need to put yourself out there, even though it's uncomfortable. But like, you need to find people in your life who are going to be aligned in what you're trying to create and do, and support you through that. Like, if everyone in your life sucks, your family doesn't support you, your friends don't support you, they make fun of you, they're negative, just know that like, I promise you, over time, if you continue to prioritize yourself and work on yourself, you are going to get to a place where you have different people in your life. And those won't be the main people that are kind of playing a role in your life. And you can love them from afar. You can love those people and you can want to still have relationships with those people, but they aren't necessarily going to be like your core people. You want core people in your circle who love you, support you, and want what's absolutely best for you. And sometimes our friends and family, they don't even realize that because they operate from such a negative or low frequency, how negative they're impacting you. Love them from afar, create space, and start surrounding yourself with people and groups that lift you up. For example, for me, I met Jess because I went to a booty building seminar. I didn't have friends there. I went to this thing because I love fitness. I wasn't going there with the intention to make a friend. I made a friend because I went to things that I was interested in. So for you, you might have to, again, with that comfort zone thing, put yourself out there and put yourself in environments where you're going to meet the kinds of people that you want to be friends with. And for me, that was put yourself into, I was scared, like going to a gym, you don't know anyone, put myself in a new gym. Going to these events where like fitness people were and I felt really uncomfortable, I still went. I went to City Shred, for example. It's like a local fitness thing. Went there, met different people, made new friends. Like, didn't have friends that I was going with, but put myself out there to go to these events, and then you meet like-minded people. The same way in business. I didn't have anyone that I was going to awaken with when I first went to this freaking massive conference about healing all by myself because I felt a pull. I went. I've made so many amazing friendships and connections, you guys, from going to that event. So you, again, you have control, you have power. Don't wait for anybody else to change your life. You have the power to do it by putting yourself in rooms with people that you want to be like. And you have to be the one that actually takes that action to get yourself out there before you necessarily have the friends. Now for me, like I could go to a fitness event and probably call 50 people to come with me. I can go to Awaken. I've literally had 12 people that I know come with me to one of these Awakens. I had to go first. It's the same thing in business. I had to go first to build the business that I have today. I couldn't have done it waiting and hoping that the right people would come around and that maybe they'd show up for me. No, I had to be the one to go first. And because you're willing and you have the courage to go first and get over that hump, I promise you, you're always going to attract those right people. So to end, when we talk about, so this is where, what did it say here? Okay. For many of us, doing what we said we would do is nothing new. The challenge for us is to do it with ease. When I say that success is doing what you said you would do with ease, people's faces don't clench up until I get to the with ease. So being successful is doing the thing that you said you were going to do. But this is also where the reason when she's talking about ease is we're so used to hearing things like no pain, no gain. But truly, when you're doing something and your vision is super aligned, the aligned actions are so easy to take that it feels easy, even though you're putting in physical effort, you're putting in time, you're using your resources, you're using your energy, you might even be using your money. It doesn't feel hard. Does this make sense? Where sometimes when you're doing something that doesn't feel aligned or like you haven't yet overcome that hump of pushing against your comfort zone, it might feel hard, but once you're over that hump, it becomes so easy. Does this make sense? So when I talk about aligned action, I really feel that this could be anything. Like I think of business, think of life, like think of anything. Once you make the decision that you're going to do something and you have the vision for that, it's like, how are you going to take aligned actions towards that goal? So for example, you could be like, okay, well, I want to build my business 10 times the size this month. But you're prioritizing because you need time. Time is your resource in this physical place to achieve what you want to achieve. I'm going to 10 times my business this month. Okay, great. You can achieve anything you want to achieve. But now you're getting a pedicure and you had to go to the gym. These are not bad things. It's just, again, being mindful of what you're prioritizing with your time. So you're going to the gym, you're getting a pedicure, you're scrolling Instagram for an hour. You wanted to make like a really nutritious dinner. So you went to 8 different supermarkets to get the ingredients to make this dinner. And now, oh my gosh, it's bedtime and I haven't had any time to work on my business, but I want to 10 times it. Okay, well, all of those things are great. You have freedom to do whatever it is you want in this life. But any of those actions that you took, were any of them aligned with the 10 times in your business goal? This is where you need to get crystal clear at certain times in your life where, yes, I love the gym. Yep. Love going to different supermarkets and like lift different local markets and making meals. Yep. Love getting a pedicure. Yep. Love getting my hair done. Yep. Love going to a spa day. Okay. This is so annoying. I'm coming to you live because I didn't even realize how much of that podcast got cut off. So I'm recording this completely outside of Riverside, but I'm going to try to add this in at the end and basically just fill you in on the fact that I just want to give you guys an ending to that podcast. Hopefully it made sense. Like you have to start taking aligned actions, right? So like you can have all these things and all this time during the day, but like you need to start taking actions that are more aligned with where you want to be. And at certain times of your life, when you have a clear vision and decision for what you want to be doing, you need to be in a position where you're prioritizing the things with your time that are going to move you closer to that thing. And then there's seasons of your life where you're going to have to navigate this, move things differently, prioritize different things. And like, that's all okay. The same way that I was talking about the supermarket and how it's like, you may want to do like, make this delicious meal and you have to go to 6 different places. But like today, does that move you closer to the thing that you want to do over the next week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, right? And there's different seasons of your life where you're going to have to prioritize different things. And it's normal and it's okay. And it's like choosing to spend your time in a way that aligns you with the life intention, aligns you with the thing that you're currently trying to achieve and accomplish, and knowing there's going to be time again where you have more free time to prioritize all of the other things. But until then, when you are laser focused on accomplishing or achieving something with your vision and decision and those life intentions, sometimes you need to get really dialed in on how you're spending your time. So don't underestimate the power of that. I'm hoping to have my podcast stuff figured out by next week so that this doesn't keep happening. I'm hoping that I can end this to the end of it, so at least you guys aren't like, wait, what? Why did that just cut off so abruptly? But thank you for bearing with me as like I navigate the software. I'm probably just going to end up buying a new computer. But thank you for tuning in. I hope that made sense. I believe in you so much. Like, I hope you know how limitless I believe that you are, and that like abundance is 1000% your birthright. You are meant to operate out of a space where you can achieve and accomplish anything that you want in this life. And all you have to do is get crystal clear on your vision, those life intentions that you want, and understand that like when you align from a heart-centered space and you start doing the things that feel so good to you and where you feel called to with your natural gifts, like money is a byproduct of that. And you can understand like money is something, it's a tool, it's a resource that allows you to live the life of your dreams, not only for you, but to impact more people. And if you can come from a heart-centered service place of what you're doing, why you're doing it with your vision to help serve humanity in some way, I promise you, you are going to be blessed with earnings and money to help you achieve and accomplish those things, and also live a very beautiful and blessed life. And you are so deserving of that. So I don't even remember the rest of what I said in this podcast because obviously I just listened to the end really quick and realized that it cut off, and I thought it cut off a lot later than it did. So thanks for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in each week. I appreciate you guys so much. If you can share this podcast, that's so helpful. Like when you guys share it in your stories and tell me your key takeaways and share it with other people and like send it to other people's ways, like it means the absolute world to me. And being able to see you guys using it, loving it, and like getting value from this. Don't ever underestimate how powerful it is when I receive a message from you, like how much I truly appreciate that. And when I see you sharing this with other people, it means so much. It helps get the podcast out to other people. And just thank you for being here. And I will see you in next week's episode. Have a good day.